Welcome, Naomi, to
Thank you.
this short interview slash chat slash check-in. How are you?
I'm great. I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm really good.
Mm.
So it's been around a month since we started working together, and usually we would have these check-ins to see how you're getting on. Also, of course, to get feedback from you. For diving in, get a little bit of introduction from you, who you are, what you do, and just basically anything that you can share with us about how we've come to be at this point.
So I'm Naomi. Like you said, I'm a mother of a beautiful 12-month-old or 1 year old. Um, Professionally, I'm a technical writer and married. Trying to create an extra source of income for the family, basically, as an entrepreneur. So coming to where we are now, I got in contact with you. I'm now officially, I guess, an Amazon seller. It's been great. It's been a great journey. I think over a month now, I believe. So yeah, that's where we are right now.
Going back to before we met, which it's crazy to me now that it's not even, it's a little longer than a month.
Hmm.
Um, but before we met, what was, what were you thinking about? What was going through your mind just as the last year was ending?
Our focus basically was just to create passive income. We didn't know exactly what we wanted to do, and I had my doubts with all sorts of businesses that were mentioned, especially on YouTube. I did my own research, so I was all over the place trying to figure out what we could do without putting in a lot of capital for the start. So that's where my research was. And on YouTube, we had a lot of things about Amazon, a lot of other businesses that were mentioned. I was a bit hesitant. I was, you know, not willing to take the risk, if I should say, because I needed somebody who had the honest testimonial, because you would have a lot of people on YouTube who would have ads and say a whole lot of things, but would never really go in depth and tell you the right and the wrong, aspect of everything. So that was where we were. We were a little hesitant about what to do and just sitting on the fence, basically, just waiting for somebody to come up with the right answers. So that's where we were before I met you. And then
Okay.
I guess we can get into that part.
Were there any other business ideas that you considered apart from Amazon? Was there any close second?
There were other ones, but just a lot more capital to start with. So I'm not sure if that really is that valuable right now because I'm not even looking at that anymore. Um,
Okay.
but we had a lot of other options. Yeah.
Was it only a capital consideration that made you decide we're going to do Amazon, nothing else?
Capital and time. We do currently have a little, baby, or infant. So time was very important. We just needed something that did not involve that much time and not so hands-on. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not saying Amazon is not a lot of work. It is a lot of work, but at least there's a part of it where I can actually hands off and they take over basically. But all the other businesses we're talking about or considering involved us actually doing pretty much the entire work. So from production, manufacturing to fulfillment and all that. And it wasn't, I'm not sure we would not consider, I'm not saying we won't consider it in the future, but maybe for now, maybe not a good idea. Yeah.
By the time we were meeting, your mind was made up about Amazon.
I would say about 75%. And then
Okay.
you basically just gave me that knock in the head, like, go ahead.
Okay. Was it something I said or was it me? What was it?
So I didn't know you. It was an ad, just like all the others. I saw your ad and just something in me just was like, okay, maybe because you're a woman and relatable, also a mother. And I think you said that in the video, in the ad, something about you being a mother and all that. So I just wanted to hear from a fellow woman. Um, how possible is it to be an Amazon seller? Especially when it comes to FBA, how possible it is, um, the risks involved, I wanted to hear the facts and not just somebody just saying whatever they want to say just to get me to, follow a cause. So I think it was because I was, we were kind of relatable, or I could relate to your situation. And I think in our meeting as well, I was trying to, I was hesitant to be honest about how I felt about Amazon, but then you pretty much saw through me. You just saw through me. You said you're just afraid to take the risk, ain't you? I think you said things like that, and that brought all my thoughts out. Basically, it made me transparent, if I should say. And that's what, made things easier and made you, get to me, and I guess things followed.
And thank you for sharing that, because usually people are not happy to say, well, I was afraid.
Oh, I
And
was.
and but now that we've established that, was there any point in time when you were, I mean, you had to invest in the program, you had to get your husband on board.
Mhm.
First of all, I'm actually curious, what did you say to him when you got off the call with me that made him feel like, okay, we're doing this, we're going to invest in this program, and we're going to build an Amazon business?
I don't think I had to say anything special. He already believes, okay, I've done business before. Okay, let me just say I'm already an entrepreneur. So it wasn't something of, can I trust you or not? He just trusted I knew what I was saying, or I knew what I was about to do. Um, I think what made him put that, knock on it was basically, or that final say was just the fact that we had a mentor.
Okay.
So of course, being a whole different field or a new endeavor, we wanted to make sure we had the right person backing us, giving us the right, answers or guidance we needed. So just me saying, okay, we're gonna have somebody to kind of watch and make sure we're doing the right thing, was just enough for him. So I didn't even speak for like 15 minutes. He was just like, okay, let's go. Let's just do it. So yeah, that was basically it.
And now that you've jumped in, both feet, despite the fact that you were afraid, just tell
Mhm.
us what your experience has been.
When it comes to getting into Amazon, it's a whole story on another, whole story for another day. It's not easy, but it's easy, if I should say. Amazon is Amazon. We can't change what it is. So it was a huge thing getting into it as a seller in the first place. But once we got in there, everything was just breezing. We got ungated in the category that we wanted. And once we got in, then it became product sourcing. Luckily, with your guidance, we were able to figure out what products that were the best to
Mhm.
start out, first of all. I don't know how we did it, but somehow it happened where we got the right products and it sold faster than we actually thought. Because I remember when we had that first meeting, you did tell me a story about somebody. I don't remember if, no, I think it was your experience where you got some products and then you weren't sure if it was even going to sell, or your husband wasn't even sure if it was going to sell. And then within 2 weeks, you woke up and it was sold out, or even less, I think. Um, but in this case, it happened technically in about 3 days or so. We did not expect. I actually thought the story was going to be similar to yours, where I'm going to have to wait like 2, 3 weeks before finally seeing one sale. And we got sold out to the point where we didn't even know what we're going to do. Like, finding the product was a problem because we sold out really quick. There was a limit on the number of things we could actually get from the store. Um, and then the rate at which it was selling out was not kind of meeting up with the demand and the supply as well. So it was a bit of a struggle and it was nerve-wracking. We didn't know what to do, but eventually we got a hang of it. Within a week, we sold over $1,000 in sales. Oh, we had $1,000 in sales and over in the first week, and we were just blown by that. The pace has been similar. It's been about 1,000 a week roughly. And I mean, like any business, it goes down, it rises back up, and yeah. So it's been great though, I must say.
I like it. I want to take you back into your
Okay.
first sale. So you already shared you were expecting to make your first sales within around 2 weeks and a half. So
There you
you
go.
were ready to be patient.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tell us about when you opened your dashboard and you saw that you had made a sale. Was it something you were checking often? Was it a mistake? What happened?
One thing everyone should know is being an Amazon seller can be addictive. Okay. So I was holding my phone pretty much everywhere, checking almost every 5 minutes, refreshing the dashboard every 5 minutes to see if something would pop up. But I think when I saw that there was a sale or when the sale actually happened, I wasn't by my phone. So it came, I think I had gotten to the point where I was like, okay, let me just leave this alone, let it do its own thing. And that's when it actually happened. So it may not happen on the day that, you expect it or the time you expect it, but it did happen when we're not even looking. And then it just didn't stop after that. It just kept going. So yeah, it can be addictive. You would be on your phone the entire time trying to see what's going on with your store and your sales. And yeah.
Let's check how addictive it is. Have you ever got up in the night and then picked up your phone to check your dashboard?
Oh, I think that's the first thing well, let me not say that because I do pray first. But I would say like probably the second thing I would do when I pick my phone, or the first thing I would do when I pick my phone. That's totally different from me and my God. But yeah, that's like the first thing I would do. Check my notifications to see if it pops up on my phone. And it would usually pop up like that. I don't know if you can see, but it would just pop up right there. Um, and that's what happens. So when I don't see that, then I have to go and refresh. But if I see that, that's a wrap. It's basically there, you know.
I have a feeling like the way it used to happen to me is once you've seen that you're making sales, then it sort of sets the tone for the rest of your day,
Mhm.
and you just got back very
It's
happy. Does it
the
happen to
best
you?
feeling ever. It's the
Yeah.
best. And what I love about it is I don't have to do anything. Um, compared to having a business where I have to create a website and I would have to literally maybe create ads. If it's not necessary, I don't have to. But with another business, I would have to create ads. I would have to do a lot of social media push. But in this case, I don't do anything. I just wait for it to sell. And somehow Amazon makes it happen.
I like that. I want to take you into a little bit of the strategy you've been using. But what has your product strategy been? What has worked the best for you so far?
Okay. So we have used Source Mogul. And then we have used the manual sourcing. Which one is my favorite manual sourcing? I'm not sure why, but to me, I find that easier. Um, and I'm not saying the other apps are not great. They're great. It's just whatever works for you and whatever your needs are. So for now, it's manual sourcing. I'm not giving up on the other options though. I'm still using them hand in hand, and then we'll see how that goes.
I need to take you back. We officially started in January 2023.
Yeah.
Today is now February 22nd. So
Yes.
we've been working together for around 37 days. I want you to tell me first what has been total revenue so that we can
Mhm.
actually know where we are.
Okay.
And also what what goal are we looking to hit before our 60-day mark?
Well, we're hoping to get to 10K.
Yes.
Um, so first month, let me see if I can pull the
Mhm.
revenue. Do you want the first week? I'm
Tell
not
us,
sure how to
break it
do
down
it.
as much as you want.
Okay, so the first week I know it was 1,000 in sales. Second week around the same thing. Um, third week I think I lost that point. I was just going with the flow. What was coming in was coming in. For now we're a few $100, close to 4,000.
Okay.
Um, and that was because we started like with FBM, and
Mhm.
then there was a little bit of a break where we had to send the stuff down to Amazon for FBA. So then that slows you down a little bit.
Mhm.
But then since then we've picked up again. But now let me just show you what it is today. Okay. I'm not sure if you can see.
No, it's so blurry.
No.
Just tell us what it is.
Okay.
And then we'll take
So
a
we
screenshot
are
and we'll send it along with the video. I'll
okay.
just
So that's
set it.
about 3,778 US dollars at the moment. Whenever I send you the screenshot, we'll see what it is by then.
So we've nearly hit 4,000 in revenue in about
Yes.
37 days. I'm
Yeah.
super proud of you. Like, we haven't driven ourselves crazy to be able to achieve these numbers. It has
Yeah.
been considering the fact that you have a young baby, you have a full-time job.
Yep.
So
Nothing changed there.
Amazon is not your 9 to 5, and you've
Mhm.
still been able to achieve this number. So I'm really proud of you, incredibly proud.
Mhm.
I want you to advise people who maybe are thinking of getting into Amazon and sort of share, what would you do differently?
Just come in open-minded.
Okay.
Just understand, like any other business, there are ups and downs, there are struggles. We struggled right from the beginning, because we wanted to test out FBM first. See,
Mhm.
we just wanted to see how both worked. So then FBM is a little more tedious. You doing everything, pretty much fulfillment and all that. So when we did that, we were like, okay, that's enough. Now we gotta go. So then we moved everything to FBA, which is what was supposed to be right from the beginning. Um, so if you're coming in, you can try it out if you want, just to see how that works. Maybe you might enjoy that, instead of FBA. But I would say come in open-minded, be ready to invest, um, all resources if you can, or definitely get a mentor. I think a mentor would be a great addition to the entire journey because they have done it, tried, tested, know the ins and outs, and would lead you in the right way. I don't see any mentor leading any mentee the wrong way, if you know what I mean. I think that's your best bet to get somebody who can actually walk you through the entire process
Mhm.
because especially for Amazon, there's a lot that happens in their entire system. And so if you're not aware of what's going on, there's no way you can, sail through it that easy. So you definitely need a mentor. Um, Also, what would I have done differently? Started FBA right from the beginning. That would have been the first thing. Um, yeah, definitely that. Just started with FBA right from the beginning. I don't think I would do anything differently when it comes to having a mentor or going into Amazon apart from that.
Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that.
You're welcome.
Now, this is the question that all of me would have been pushing to avoid, but
Okay.
I think it's a question that we have to ask because everyone watching this or listening to this is going to be thinking, well, what has the experience of working with Kome been like? So over to you.
Beautiful. Um,
Blushing.
yeah, I don't have any complaints. I mean, my husband says the same thing. He's always like, "Yep, it's good we got somebody. It's good we got her." If anything is about to go left, he's like, "Have you asked Comey? Have you asked Comey?" I'm like, "Yeah." So I don't think I have any negatives to say actually. It's been beautiful. There hasn't been a time I have reached out to you and haven't gotten an answer. And most of the time, before I even ask the answer or ask the question, there's already an answer. You always kind of, you're proactive, if I should say, and you're ahead of, my thoughts. So before I can actually think of it, you've already given me my answer for the most part. And that's the importance of having somebody holding your hand because then they are literally guiding you. So that is it. I don't think I have had any bad experiences. I don't expect to actually. So thank you.
And I think for me, this is the reason that I do what I do.
Mhm.
It's easy for people to think, well, she's just charging money to coach people.
Mhm.
But at the foundation of the reason I coach is just seeing how happy you are, seeing how joyful
Yeah.
in only a matter of days. And so I think for me, it's an honor and a pleasure to have even brought you this far and to be building
Yeah.
something great with your family. And all I can say is just keep doing what you're doing, keep working at your business. And like you've
Thank
said, it's not easy. It's not a walk in the park. Like Amazon is not for babies,
you.
really.
No.
But it is worth it. And I think 10K is just around the corner once your items get
Yes.
checked in and they start selling.
Yes.
Um, and you just need to do a few other 10Ks to really hit your 100K in revenue. And that's a full income for a whole person. to
Yeah.
be honest. I'm so pleased to be on this journey with you.
Oh, thank
I can't
you.
wait to celebrate more milestones.
Hopefully I can come say all that here too.
I'm glad.
I'll
I'm
be
glad.
glad to.
I'm glad. So
Thank
thank
you.
you so much for taking the time to
You're
chat with me
welcome.
and to share your
You're welcome.
experience. Naomi, it's been a pleasure.
Same here. Thank you so much, Kwame.
Yay.
Appreciate it.